Hey guys, so today we're going to talk about your self-esteem boost and inner confidence. So I know normally when it comes to manifestation, we're always taught to think about the material things. We're taught, how to manifest a car, how to manifest a house, how to manifest all of these more like money. And I want to kind of break your mold here. And I want you to see that manifestation comes in all sorts of different shapes and sizes. So when it comes to learning how to manifest in our How to Manifest series, I want to break the mold for you and talk about more of the immaterial things that we can manifest, because sometimes I honestly find these things to actually be more powerful. Like, material things are great and all, but when we start to look at these more immaterial concepts, we can really transform ourselves from the inside out in how we manifest. So let's dive in. Hey guys, it is Ashley from theawakenedstate.net. So today we are continuing on with my How to Manifest Blank series. So by now, if you have been following along, we talked about the 4 steps to manifest anything you want. We talked about how to manifest, and we talked about manifesting love. And so today we're going to take it a little bit of a different spin, and we're going to talk more about how to create a self-esteem boost and inner confidence with manifestation. So this is a topic that isn't really talked about, right? So we don't really consider self-esteem to be something that we're going to be considering when it comes to manifestation, but it's actually like whenever we're experiencing resistance or negative emotions, like, why are we not talking about how do we get out of that headspace, like when we feel like absolute shit? Like, this is more critical to me than positive thoughts only and like high vibe only. Like, I want to know, what do I do when I feel like I'm a masochist and I am just like in a cycle where I am just totally in the wrong space? Well, how do I create that self-esteem boost to stop beating myself up, to stop being like in that headspace where it's just like I'm almost in that self-rejection energy, where I'm in a space where I am in criticism, when I'm in doubt, when I'm in uncertainty? That's the space we really want to be talking about, right? Because that is like the catalyst. That is the catalyst to real alignment. It's not going to be found when you're hoping and praying and wishing in positive vibes only, and you're not willing to get into the dirt, and you're not willing to get into the muck of what is actually stopping you. Because like whenever you're experiencing resistance, like resistance has a momentum. Okay? Like, you have to realize that. Like, when you're in resistance, there is like a quicksand occurring, like in your mind. You're stuck in a cycle. You're stuck in that cycle, which is perpetuating a pattern. And that pattern is looping in your nervous system. And you're like, how do I get out of the pattern? How do I get out of the pattern? How do I get out? How do I get out? How do I get out? And so because of that single thing alone, you're perpetuating the cycle, right? And so when you are in a bad mood, when you are in a rough place, when you are really feeling down and low and you're kind of in the thick of it, you have to be willing to realize that you're not just going to go 0 to 60 like a bat out of hell, like a crazy person. Like, you will not get whiplash on the car by completely doing a 360 U-turn, because you'll get whiplash. It's the same way with our emotions, okay? When we think about it like this, oh, my foot's asleep. When we think about it like this, you have to consider that to manifest a self-esteem boost and manifest more confidence, it's going to be more of a conversation of, what does my soul actually need right now in this moment? Okay, so your first tip is to look at, what do I need? What does my soul actually need in this moment? Maybe I need more acceptance of where I'm at. Maybe I need to accept my emotions. Maybe I need to give myself more nurture and self-care. Maybe I need to give back to myself more. Maybe I need to take the focus away from the problem and give it more an energy of the solution by literally detaching from that problem and focusing more on giving myself more love, more support, more acceptance, whatever that feeling is in your body. I want you to explore, what does my soul need? Okay? Because when it comes to self-esteem boost, if we're not giving ourselves what we need, it will continue to rev its head up in the cycle and say, hey, you need this. Hey, you need this. Hey, you need this. And it will do that until you get the hint. So it's like, you know, the saying, like, we repeat what we don't repair. Yeah, it's the same fucking thing. Because when you don't become aware of that, it will show itself until you figure that out. Be like, huh, you didn't get the lesson yet. I'm going to show it to you again. So the more you see it and you're like, what are you here to teach me? What does my soul actually need? That will at least help you get out of the current. So instead of getting stuck in the quicksand, now you figured out how to find a rope and get out of that. So you've deactivated that charge, right? So the next thing you want to do when it comes to manifesting a self-esteem boost is you have to realize that, you know, everything is energy. Thoughts are energy, emotions are energy. Vibration is like the root cause of everything in our lives is due to what we are vibrating at. So when we're in a very low vibration and we want to be high vibe, we have to be willing to get out of the muck first, because otherwise we're just going to keep going back to the cycle. And what will happen is we'll get stuck in that pattern. So what you have to realize here is, in order to do that from a place of really rooting into that resistance, you have to see that you have to stop resisting. And instead you have to accept. And instead of moving and flowing in the state of resistance, you have to be like, I accept this emotion. I feel this emotion. I know it's real. And then from that space, you have accepted where you are in the present moment. From this space, now you can start to use the power of manifestation. So this leads to step 2. Your words are your superpower. Okay? Your words are your superpower. So we all know about the power of affirmations, but most of us are taught when we want something, we have to force ourselves to feel a particular vibration or else. And that I find to be really limiting, because our emotions are like the weather. You know, you have one thing happen, it leads to another thing happening, and then all of a sudden you're having a crappy day. So just relying on emotions alone isn't a strong enough foundation, because our emotions can change like the weather, just like a storm suddenly comes out of nowhere from a sunny day. This can happen with our emotions. So I find that actually relying on emotions alone is kind of like an unstable foundation. So it's easier to rely on really getting honest with yourself and looking at the language you're saying to yourself. So, right, we're in a self-esteem boost. So look at the language you're saying about yourself to yourself, and also look at how you can start to change that language. Are you in criticism? Transform it into encouraging yourself. Confidence comes from encouragement, self-validation, removing the doubt and the uncertainty and jumping into soul certainty. It comes from the space of knowing how to encourage yourself. So step 2 is to start creating language that helps you encourage yourself forward, because this will get you out of the resistance. It'll get you away from the doubt, and you start moving into the energy of encouragement. So tip number 2 for manifesting more self-esteem is to encourage yourself, okay? So here's the thing, when it comes to changing our language, we might need a little bit of a help, right? We might need a little bit of like a boost. And that's where affirmations come in. So we're not going to attack this from a level of, I want to feel positive or else. Instead, you gotta meet yourself where you're at, right? So these are some of my personal affirmations that I just want to share with you. So it's okay to take a break, pause, and recharge. It's okay to know that I'm doing enough and it's safe to pause and recharge. It's safe to feel whatever I need to feel and it be okay. It's safe to feel lack. It's safe to feel fear. It's safe to feel however I need to feel in that moment and it be okay. I choose to focus on the good regardless of the situation. I choose to feel good today and focus on the good. When we focus on the good, regardless of the situation, we find the good within the situation. One of the most powerful lessons is to see the good, even in the bad. See how you can transform it. See how you can learn from it. See how you can move forward from it. And that leads to this one. I move forward with confidence and encourage myself to do my best. So these are all really good affirmations to kind of flip the channel away from like nothing's happening, nothing's moving forward, I'm upset, I'm sad, I'm depressed. And instead you start to be like, I'm actually doing my best, it's okay. I can encourage myself. And so instead of going like 360, instead meet yourself where you are. And I find that to be more of a powerful shift because that's when you accept. You accept yourself where you're at versus pushing away. So you're not pushing away from the pain, you're not perpetuating the resistance, and instead you're accepting. You're accepting, all right, I'm in lack. All right, I'm in fear. All right, I don't feel safe in this moment. Okay, that's fine. And because of that, you have released the charge that is keeping you in that resistance. That's powerful. So your step number 2 when it comes to manifestation is I want you to work with your language to encourage yourself to raise your self-esteem. Okay, so I move forward with confidence and encourage myself to do my best. I know that deep down that happiness is a choice that I personally make, and I can choose to focus more on what makes me naturally happy just for being me. I will allow all feelings and I welcome them in. I accept the way that I feel and I honor that. And then from there, we can start to move more into confidence, more into a confidence boost. So I am naturally confident at what I do. I always choose to encourage myself over criticize myself. This is a really, really potent one that I suggest if you are having trouble with self-esteem and confidence, use this one a lot because the more that you focus on encouraging yourself over criticizing yourself, you can start to move away from beating yourself up when things don't go the way that you want them to. And so instead you're just like, that's okay. And I think when we do that, we really enable ourselves to be more in an energy of non-attachment, okay? And that's really more potent and powerful of a vibration than being like, fuck, it didn't work. Fuck, it didn't work. And it's like, what am I doing wrong? How do I fix this? What am I missing? What's the secret code? How do I do this? How do I do this? And instead you're like, it's all right. Like, encourage yourself. So I release fear and doubt, knowing my higher truth is always more true to who I am. I can feel confident even when I ask for help or support. I choose to feel empowered and confident in everything I do and everything that I am. I move forward with confidence, inner certainty, and trust I always know what to do. I allow and trust my inner magnetism to guide me. I choose to focus on my strengths, encourage myself, and know it's all possible when I decide. So for step 2, we can start to see that when we're in a mucky vibration of criticism, doubt, uncertainty, we have to be willing to look at your language. Like, wow, I'm saying a lot of shitty things to myself. Wow, I am totally not in the right vibration right now. Honor that, accept that, and then start entertaining beliefs and affirmations in language that is actually like, I'm actually doing an okay job. Look at what I've already done. This is already like I've already done enough. I'm already doing enough. So you start to meet yourself where you're at. And that can help you more than being like, I gotta be high vibe, I gotta be high vibe, or else. And instead, I'm doing a good job. I encourage myself. That sense of validation and encouragement is more supportive of you than frantically pushing yourself, forcing yourself positive. The third thing, when it comes to confidence, we have to be willing to show up and take the action we say we're going to take. So when it comes to confidence, we have to realize that confidence is made in experience. Confidence is literally made through experience. So when it comes to manifesting confidence, we have to look at, well, if I was already confident, what would be the action that I would take? If I already felt more than enough, what would be the action I would take differently? You know, you have to put yourself on the other side. Like, if I was already confident and I wasn't afraid or doubtful, what would I do differently? You know, that's how I started video. Like, I knew that I was super afraid of doing video, but I did it anyway. When you're in that space where you can be like, so if I was actually already confident and already certain, and I had next level confidence and next level certainty, what would I actually show up and do differently? Then go do it. Because here is the thing. When we don't tell our mind that we're going to do what we say we're going to do, and we say we're going to do it, but then we don't do it, we're telling the subconscious mind that we don't actually believe in ourselves to do it. So the experience locks in the belief. The experience and the action locks in the belief. That's how you build the muscle of confidence, because you're actually in the experience of confidence building. So, like, we can say all of this stuff to ourselves, but if we're not willing to get into the action, if we're not willing to be like, well, if I was already confident, would I really like do things differently? How would I do things differently? How could I pause and change my direction? How could I actually step in fully to doing things differently versus staying stuck and stagnant in excuses and overwhelm and freaking out and whatever you're experiencing? Because that's the problem. That's like the hugest problem in a nutshell. The fear has you in a holding pattern, and your job is to get out of the holding pattern, because you cannot enable the shift even if you're saying those affirmations in the mind, until you're willing to bring in the experience and the action of knowing that you can be on the other side of that. And so I think it's really important when it comes to enabling manifestation, when it comes to confidence and self-esteem and more of these immaterial concepts, we have to realize that the mind-body connection is always occurring and always happening. So if you're only working with the mind and not the body where the action is taking place, then you're just going to get lost in the vision. So your 3 tips for manifesting more self-confidence and boosting your self-esteem are: give yourself what you need. Give yourself what your soul needs. How do you do that? Ask yourself, what does my soul need right now? What does my soul deeply need and desire right now? Mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. Give yourself what you need. Get the fuck out of resistance. Then start giving yourself better language. Start looking at, well, what are affirmations that actually encourage myself? What could help support what I'm trying to do? What could help support my emotions in this situation? What could help support where I'm going? Versus forcing, pushing, pulling. None of that works, because you have to meet yourself where you are. Then, in the 3rd step, do the action you say you're going to do. Really ask yourself, if I was next level confident, what would I do differently? Okay, so I know this was like, wow, I am just amazed at what came through in terms of knowing about self-confidence when it comes to manifestation. I would love to hear your own thoughts about how this topic deeply served you, because I know this can be a tough space to navigate when it comes to really owning our power, our self-esteem, our confidence. It is something that we have to work on constantly, consistently, and know that we always hold that power within ourselves. And most importantly, we can see how much our language is truly influencing our lives. And we always hold that power to change it, transform it, and transcend it. Okay, so I am Ashley at theawakenedstate.net. I would love it if you guys subscribe for more videos. And if you deeply enjoyed this video, please share it to your friends. Spread the word of our manifestation series that will be going on all month long. And I'll see you guys next time. Love ya.